Hi there, it's you once again, and welcome back for another video. And this time, they're actually gonna be my thoughts on the TV show Smallville, which is a TV series, a superhero TV series, which also has a drama on it. And the from season 1 to season 5 was broadcasted by the VB. After season 5 it merged with TV, both American network shows. And I grew up with Smallville. I watched all seasons. Smallville consisted 217 episodes, and it broadcasted in October 2001 till till 2011. It ended after season 10. And of course, I do have a box set of Smallville. Before I show you, there are 10 seasons, and the first season consisted 21 episodes, while season 2 had 23 episodes and consisted 23 of all episodes, which is the longest season that had the most episodes. From season 3 till season 7, it consisted 22 episodes. Season 7 was episode 20 because the time were striking. 2008 they were striking. The shows were striking, so they cut the episodes. Season 9 consisted 21, and to season 10 the finale was actually consisted 22 episodes. I do have the season 2. Yes, I have the box set of the second season. I did not know I have the season 2, but I bought it 9 years ago, which was the only one I got cheap. I couldn't got the rest of the Smallville, but I bought it, which is the second season. I have all, which I do have all the Smallville, all episodes. This box set has, all episodes. Smallville I really enjoy, and I grew up. The first season, the show talks about Clark Kent before he became Superman. He's actually a teenager, and he has to this is actually the origin story about young Clark Kent as a teen, and this movie more focused on his life than before he became Man of Steel. And also talks about his relationship, his friends, his staying in Smallville as a high school. He goes to high school, and the first season talks about Clark Kent. We also meet Lana Lang, which played by Kristen Kreuk, and I'll just show you the cast. This is actually the cast. This is actually the cast from season 2, but also. They were from season 1 to season 3. They were actually all Pete Russ. So this is actually Clark Kent, Tom Welling, John Schneider. He plays Jonathan Kent. The Sam Jones third plays Pete Russ. He stays from season 1 to season 3. Michael Rosenbaum is Lex Luthor. Kristen Kreuk is Lana Lang. And of course, John Glover is Lionel Luthor. Annette Toll from Superman 3 is actually Martha Kent. And this is Chloe Sullivan. Alison Mack plays Chloe Sullivan, best friend of Clark Kent, And and I actually do enjoy this show very much. And like I said, the first season actually more talks about explosion of the meteor shower when Smallville gets hit by meteor. In that time, the Kent find the young boy as Clark, and they adopted him. And this also shows the relationship between Clark and Lex Luthor. Before Lex Luthor was evil and mean, Clark Kent and Lex, they became friends. They were actually friends, And the first pilot, actually shows when Lex bumps into Clark, and how Clark saves his life. Clark goes and he saves his life. And the first season, his Clark Kent is actually a high schooler. He's in love and has a big crush on Lana Lang. Lana Lang, she's dating a quarterback. Actually, it's not Brett, it's Whitney in this movie. She dates quarterback Whitney, and and even though they are enemies, Clark and Whitney are enemies. Clark is still he's still a good guy, but many of those teens became infected with those meteors and gets incredible powers. And of course, Clark, he uses his powers, which he finds out that Jonathan is not his actually a real father, and he tries to find out who he is, and he also goes to terms with his power. And the story reveals, talks about young Clark's life as a high schooler and how he became a reporter in Daily Planet. And the first season more so talks about his first year on a Smallville high school. That's actually the first year on the Smallville high school. By the finale, Whitney leaves high school and he goes to Marines. He joins voluntarily to Marines, and we see in episode 21 we see a tornado, which this show also deals with natural causes by the finale, and it actually deals with natural causes. And the second season, talks the second year with Clark Kent on high school Smallville, because after tornado, he's now second year, and Clark Kent kind of forgot. But in the second season, Lex Luthor gets engaged to this doctor when he's dating, and also there's like Clark Kent, who I forgot to mention, but Pete Ross and Chloe Sullivan are actually Clark's best friends, but he's hiding secret. Pete Ross in the second season finds out the secret of Clark because Clark tells him, but even though he lied to him, they became best friends. They're still best friends. Clark is still still in love with Lana, because this show shows the first love of Superman. Lana Lang, before Lois Lane becomes ultimate love of Superman, Clark Kent. But this movie talks more about Clark Kent and his high school years, and before he became before Lois Lane becomes his eternal love. And the second season also, because the Kents, Jonathan, Martha, they hate Lionel Luthor, they hate the Luthors, and they don't, and Jonathan does not trust Lex Luthor because Lionel Luthor, screwed over years ago for his son. He screwed over Jonathan, and he does not trust Lex Luthor at all. But Clark and Lex, they became a personal friends. They became a close friends, and Clark was always defending Lex because he always thought that Clark, that Lex is actually a good person, that he's a good person, and he's one of his closest friends. Which I love that, and also. And Clark, Tom Welling is actually Clark, he's actually Clark Kent. He's in Smallville, he's in the second season. The second season, he also, the Martha Kent, she starts working with for Lionel Luthor because Lionel becomes blind, and that's when Jonathan distrusts more the Luthors, by the finale, also we also find out another kryptonite, there's episode 4 in the episode season 2, which is called Red, which I have to show you the episode, but it's actually I think that's an episode I can get this out. I found it. I think the episode 4 is actually Red. It's actually, the episode is actually called Red. It's actually Red, which Clark Kent, he gets, this is actually how you get the episodes, but Clark Kent, he gets, this is also the DVD, I'll show you later the box and the episodes of season 2, but mostly already have the collection. I only have season 2, I don't have the rest of seasons. But yeah, the episode 4 talks Red when we find out that green kryptonite, can hurt Clark Kent. But in this episode, they found red kryptonite, which Clark Kent becomes evil, and I love that, he becomes evil and greedy, and that's what turns personality. And that was also in Supergirl, season 1, episode 18, when she gets exposed with red kryptonite. Green kryptonite can kill Superman. Red kryptonite, he turns him into evil Superman. And this is the episode in which Clark Kent becomes evil, and he split in the duplicity, just like in Superman 3. Just in Superman 3, which was laced with tobacco and tar, it was actually green. It was actually supposed to be red, because red kryptonite turns and changes Superman, Clark Kent. And this episode, Clark Kent becomes greedy. Definitely, if I'll say season 4 Red is actually my favorite episode of season 2, and yeah, the season 2, and also by the finale, Clark Kent, there's also the first time when Clark Kent is on Daily Planet in Metropolis, when Martha and Lionel, they became hostages, which Clark goes help them out, not to trip booby traps, and yeah, by the finale, there's also Christopher Reeve himself, Superman himself. He also he also goes and he also makes a special appearance. I think was in episode 17. I think it was episode 17 who made a special appearance. I think it was more. Yeah, it was episode 17 with guest stars Christopher Reeve, which he played. I think he played Dr. Swan. He played Dr. Virgil Swan, and Clark Kent wants to find out where he's coming from and his origins, and Christopher Reeve was perfect as Dr. Virgil Swan. He was perfect in this movie, in this season, And Martha, she's hides something, but because she's dying, Clark tries to save her, which he does, and she becomes pregnant, because before it wasn't. But on the end, on the second season, for the finale, Clark wants to protect everyone who goes and destroys the ship, and Jonathan's pissed because Martha loses the baby. And I think that I kind of forgot, but I think everyone blames Clark for his problems. So Clark puts the red kryptonite, and Lana is the only one that convinces him, because they have a romance with Lana in this episode. But Clark leaves her, Clark leaves Lana, and he goes, there's also there's another episode, I think, when Clark was kissing Clark was kissing Chloe, and Lana was pissed that she doesn't give him a chance. or there was another episode there when Whitney returns, but it turns out there's an enemy from the first season, Tina, who's in love with Lana, and Clark Kent has to fight her, but yeah, that was in season 2. The third season continues about Jonathan. He takes Chloe finds Clark in Metropolis while he's now with Red Kryptonite. And Jonathan, because he was looking for him, he has somehow superpowers, in which he helps and saves. He saves Clark. He saves Clark. He brings in 2 episodes Clark's back. And meantime, after Lex Luthor's airplane crash, he finds out in an island, and he tried to escape from that island, which he did. And season 3 I kind of forgot, but season 3 was my favorite. I kind of forgot, but season 3 was now the third year of high school, in which Clark is now in the junior high school. There was this episode 11, the Elite, which I really liked that episode. Like Lana became so psycho, and she goes with martial arts, and she fights she fights Chloe Sullivan. And there's also this guy, Ian Somerhalder from the Vampire Diaries. He was also in that episode, and there's like a full martial arts, which I love that. I mean, Kristen Kriuk used the martial arts like a pure badass she was, and Kristen Kriuk, she was great as Lana Lang, in my opinion. In all seasons, she was great, but yeah, she in my opinion, she was great, in all seasons. She was great, but season. I kind of forgot what was the finale in season 3, but I think that in season 3 Lex gets poisoned, almost get killed. Chloe dies. She's blown to pieces. Lionel is in prison, but it looks like he swore revenge, and Clark disappears, from the earth, and he's gone. In season 4, we also got Lois Lane, Erica Durance. It turns out that Lois Lane is actually a cousin from Chloe Sullivan. In this season she's not, but Erica Durance, who plays Lois Lane, she shows up in season 4, and she stays from season 4 to season 10. But she's the cousin of Chloe Sullivan. It turns out that she actually is the cousin of her. And because Chloe is now dead, she goes in Smallville because she tries to investigate the death of her cousin. And she goes to Smallville, and she meets Wayne after 3 months. I forgot that in season 4 episode that I forgot that Jonathan is now in a hospital. He's on life support, and Martha does not want to take off the life support while Clark is missing for 3 months until Louis finds him. When he crashed. With no memory, all naked, no memory where he been. And Martha tries to convince him that he is her son. That Jor-El has something to do to her. And Clark is like act completely weird. It's actually kind of weird. It's kind of weird behavior. And in I think it was Crusade. I think it was season 4, the first episode. But in the first episode, we also see General Lane, played by Michael Ironside from Total Recall. We also, in the first episode, we also find out that Lois, she failed the grade, so she cannot go to college. So she stays in the senior in the Smallville High School. So she's like classmates with Clark Kent. And meantime, we also see Margot Kidder reunites with Annette Toll. They were both previously Superman 3, but this time they both reunite, and she gives like a crystal to Martha, which Martha brings Clark back, and they're like two duplicates in season 4. And also Jensen Ackles from Supernatural becomes a regular cast of season 4, but he gets killed in the end of season 4, and also this is also the episode in which Clark becomes a quarterback, but Jonathan does not support his decision because he's afraid that he's gonna hurt, but that he's gonna hurt other his players while using his power, and that he's gonna misuse his power. But Clark assured him he will never do that, which he doesn't, and it was kind of, Jonathan did not support his decision, but I love that. By the finale, season 4, Clark graduates, Smallville, and yeah, the first 4 seasons, I'll say, are great because Clark is in high school from junior high school till senior, which all graduate. Pete Ross, he leaves Smallville after season 3 because he's afraid, on the end of season 3, he's afraid that he's afraid that Lionel's gonna find his secret. I think that Rutger Hauer also, I think, was in season 3, was Rutger Hauer in the first 2 episodes. I think that Sam Ross Jr. I think was actually his I think it was actually his contract expired, because in season 4 we got introduced new character, and that was Lois Lane, played by Erika Durance. In the end of season 4, when Clark graduates, I think there was this girl, Alice, I think she was obsessed with Clark or something. I kind of don't remember because it's been like 10 years since I saw these episodes the last time, In season 5, there was a rival from, at first I thought it was Jenner Zod, but now Kryptonians, they arrived on Earth and they captured, I think they captured Clark Kent in season 5, they captured him in the Phantom Zone, but he escaped and he fight those menaces. And in the fifth season, Clark Kent, he goes to college, but because of his dad illness, Clark, he quits college, and in the 5th season, his dad, Jonathan Kent, dies, he gets elected, but because of Lex Luthor, because of Lionel Luthor interfering in the barn, because Jonathan wins to become a senator, but he gets a heart attack and dies, in this season also, I think he dies by heart attack. And I think that Clark tried to save, but Lana gets killed, so instead he sacrificed his dad, so that Lana survives, but his dad dies, I kind of don't remember on the next seasons. I think that season 6 he was unemployed. Dean Cain was also a guest star as one of the villains in the character. I think in the season 3 there were, like, from the first 2 seasons, there were also those characters, villains who Clark stopped them, when they had their powers. Season 6 is, I think, was in which Lex and Lana, they get engaged, they get married, but then when Lana finds out she found Clark Kent's secret, she goes and fakes her death. In season 7, she's revealed that she's actually alive. In season 7, I think she gets on power and she wants to kill Lex, meantime Lex is now evil. And I think that in season 5, season 6 and 7, Lionel becomes an ally to Clark Kent because he finds out his secret, but I kind of forgot about season 7. I think that Lana became Sub-Psycho, by the finale, I think that Lex gets exploded, blows to pieces. By season 7, season 7 ended, like I said, after season 5, the TV emerged and they took over the production of the show. Michael Rosenbaum was cast from first season till season 7, and so was Kristen Kriuk as Lana Lang, and so was John Glover as Lionel Luthor, but their contracts expired, so they left the show because their contract expired and was not renewed. Their contracts were not reviewed or just weren't interested to play the characters anymore. But my opinion, Michael Rosenbaum was great as Lex Luthor. Lana Lang, played by Kristen Kriuk, was great. And so was also John Glover's Lionel Luthor, father of Lex Luthor. Tom Welling was great, for the first as young teenage Clark Kent. He was great for the first seven seasons. In season 8, we actually got now a new cast. I read that on YouTube by comments that Tom Welling he wanted that Michael Rosenbaum would return, for the next season as Lex Luthor, but because his contract was actually expired, so they did other actors look like Lex, but as a guest star. But by the finale of season 10, Michael Rosenbaum did return by the conclusion of the finale. But in season 8 was also Tess Mercer. Later turns out she's Lotessa Luthor. I think she was half sister of Lex Luthor. I don't remember, but I think that I think was Cassidy Freeman. I forgot the actress. Tess Mercer, the actress was great. I think it was Cassidy Freeman. She was great as Tess Mercer. She was also sexy in season 8. The season 8 was actually more about I forgot what the season 8. Season 8 was actually about Doomsday. It was actually focusing on Doomsday. Season 9 was actually focusing on Zod and his army of Kryptonians, which they're planning to rule the world. In season 6, we got introduction of Green Arrow. Justin Hartley played Green Arrow. Season 5 was actually the first time Kryptonians and the Fortress of Solitude. In season 5. But season 10, season 9, Clark, Clark becomes he becomes a couple with Lois Lane, and by end of season 9, she finds out, Lois finds out that Clark is actually that he is actually the Blur instead of being Superman. He's in this season is actually the Blur. She finds out about his secret. But she pretends that she doesn't know, and she goes in season 10 to Africa. I think was season 10 was started strongly. Clark has visions about Lex returning. Kind of season 10 I forgot, but season 10 in my opinion was actually disappointing. Yeah, the episodes are great. The finale was disappointing. Many of the fans, we wanted to see Tom Welling in a costume, in a Superman costume. But he was Blur from season, I think it was season 8, 9, 10. He was a Blur until finale. We only saw a comic book with Chloe talking about it, In season 10, which was actually a reunion, because it was 10 years, the show was on air, it's a reunion, and we see Clark, everything changed after 10 years, 2011, it actually changed everything. Chloe Sullivan wasn't there anymore, Lana Lang wasn't there. I forgot to mention, Kristen Kriuk did a special appearance in few episodes season 8, but it's revealed she had superpowers, in which she left the show and she never returned, only in flashback. Erica Durance stayed from the season 4 to season 10, So yes, I know because I watch every episode because I'm a fan of Smallville, I'm actually a fan of this show too. I'm a fan of Superman, That's one of the reasons. I don't know why season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are only on Blu-ray, and I think the rest 5 seasons they aren't. Maybe because of the VB, no, not released on Blu-ray, no, but yeah, I think it was that. But I think the cast, from the first 4 seasons did great. My disappointing is that Clark Kent in this show does not turn into a Superman. He does not wear the costume of Superman. He doesn't even wear the S symbol on his chest, He doesn't even wear the red boots and his blue costume and his red cape. He doesn't wear through whole show. And when I read the comments, they wanted that he turns into a Man of Steel. In this show, he's not Man of Steel. That's my only disappointment and lacks in the TV show. But the rest of the show was great, which was actually a different origin story of how his life was before he even found about his powers and he became Superman, Man of Steel. This was actually more focusing on his teenage life, like mostly the teens do. Like Man of Steel focus on his life, Superman the movie just jump from a teen, from his death of his adopted father to his powers, to become a reporter. In season 8 he becomes a reporter. Man of Steel kinda did correctly the comic book series as a Superman. Even though the Superman the movie is better, I still think that it is good as the first one, Man of Steel, which I reviewed last night. And the cast, was great in my opinion. Tom Welling is Clark Kent in my opinion. Still, he's not Superman, but he is Clark Kent. Superman will be Christopher Reeve, But now, since I'll show you the DVDs, I have to take them out. I have to take them all out. And also we'll go to the cast. I'll show you the collection. So, just gonna go. This is also the box, the box. The cast, Tom Welling was great as Clark Kent. John Schneider was great as Jonathan Kent. Sam Jones III was great as Pete Ross. Michael Rosenbaum was great as Lex Luthor. What a babe, Kristen Kreuk was great as Lana Lang. She was great. She was a babe. I had a crush on her. Lionel Luthor, played by John Glover, was awesome. He was also in RoboCop 2. The cast, Alison Mack was also hot as Chloe Sullivan. She became a reporter and she became ally to Clark Kent later. When we see Justice League in the season 6. I love that Lana Lane, that Lana was actually Clark's biggest love until he met Lois, in season 4. Now my collection, I have to find the... So that's the disc 1, which is the back. Barely can see anything. Just the back. The DVD. It consists one DVD consists of 4 episodes. You actually get every episodes. The season 2. Pete Ross. This is actually episode 4. As Clark as Evil Clark. Season 2, Lex Luthor and Clark. That's the first episode. That's the first episode, Smallville. The first disc. Now let's get to disc 2. Disc 2. The back. The back. Lana Lang. The DVD, it has 4 episodes, Lana Lang. Also, I do have here are also writing all the episodes. I forgot to mention there's also the song Somebody Save Me, which I enjoyed. That's Chloe, that's Tom Welling as Clark Kent. Clark saving someone. I forgot. Have not seen this show for a long time. That's disc 2 from episode 5 till episode 5 till 8. Lana. So that's disc 2. That's actually disc 2. Disc 3. I have different, but there's disc 3. No, disc 3. The back. Disc 3. Lana and Chloe Sullivan. Clark and another girl. I think there's the bad guys. I think there's Lionel Luthor and Martha. Whitney, which I said from the first season. This guy's has Tina in it. Of course, Chloe and Lana. So that's disc 3, second season, which we do have Lex Luthor on it, Michael Rosenbaum. This is episode 9 till 12. Lex Luthor, season 2. That's disc 3. Disc 4. Disc 4, season 2. Which I enjoyed this show. Huge fan of the show, but biggest fan of the Superman movies. This is disc 4. We have a receipt every episode. We do have Lionel Luthor, Clark and Pete Ross. We also do have this actor, I think was the same actor. He was in The Vampire Diaries with Ian Somerhalder, Prodigal Son, another my favorite episode, Prodigal Son. I think it was Paul Wesley. No, I forgot his name. But that's the actor who played Stefan Salvatore in The Vampire Diaries with Ian Somerhalder. Ian Somerhalder came out in the next season 3. And this is Clark and Chloe. So yeah, this is actually episodes from 13 till 15. The episode in which someone shoots Lionel Luthor, but turns out that it was Jonathan, but no, it wasn't Jonathan. It was actually that police officer Ethan, who had a grudge against Lionel. So that's episode from that's actually from 13 to 16. There are 4 episodes. That's the disc. Chloe Sullivan on it. Alison Mack as Chloe Sullivan. That's disc 4. Now we go to disc 5. Disc 5, Tom Welling as Clark, season 2. The disc Pete Ross, which is actually episode from 17 till 20. The second season has the longest episodes of them all. Christopher Reeve, which I'm glad I do have this. Christopher Reeve, Dr. Virgil Swan, rest in peace, Christopher Reeve. For me, the only Clark Kent Superman of all time. Lionel Luthor, Alison Mack as Chloe Sullivan. She starts working for him. I think that was Clark and some bad guy, I guess. So yeah, so that's actually disc 5, episode 17 till 20. Which I'm glad I do have that, it's the only show. And of course, disc 6 from 20 to 23, which is the actually 3 last episodes, which is actually the final, it's actually the final. And we do have the Kents Jonathan and Martha Kent. We do have both of them, um, we do have both of them, the Kents, Jonathan, Martha Kent, the original Lana Lang from Superman 3. And there's a flyer. Another favorite episode of mine, if I remember, Lana Lang and a little girl, Lex Luthor Clark, Lana and Clark, and of course Clark, Tom Welling, which are the last 3 episodes, and then of course ends. And yeah, and that's all the episodes I do have, that's all the season I do have, so that's all of them. Huge fan of Smallville. I really do enjoy and love Smallville. Like I said, the first 4 seasons are the best, and I think my favorite season was probably season 3 because of that episode that delayed. Yeah, probably, definitely. Excuse me, I had to find out. 3. 16. 81. Yeah, there are some audio commentary on, I think, a few episodes by Tom Welling, Kristen Krug, Michael Rosenbaum, which those 3 original cast, The first time I saw Tom Welling, he really did look like young Clark Kent. He looked like Clark Kent, with that black hair. I think they were perfectly cast, I think they were all perfectly cast. I really do love this series. My favorite season was probably season 3 because that episode is delayed, in which Lana Lang becomes a psycho and tries to kill Chloe. That's my favorite scene. But I love having to have this, Pete Ross finds out Clark Kent's secret and he helps him out, which I love that. But I really enjoy, I'm a huge fan of Smallville. Smallville I really enjoy. Season 2, I think you should stick with the first 4 seasons, because from the VP, because Stevie, in season 6 he was unemployed, from season 7, and in season 8 he starts working for Daily Planet, and of course this girl, Tess Mercer, she becomes his boss, and he also tries to find some more secret, and Chloe is helping him out. In season 4, Chloe finds out about Clark's secret. I kind of don't remember everything about it, but yeah. But I do have this show, and I'm glad I do have Somebody Save Me. I love that show. Been a huge fan of Smallville. Season 10 was actually started great, but the finale was disappointing. So I'd say season 10 disappointing. I don't know how we'll rank them. Probably season 3 my favorite, season 2, then probably season 1 and season 4. I probably, but definitely would say season 2. The back. I'm just glad I do have the cast, so I can show you the cast about it. Have not seen this season in a long time. Have not seen this season in a long time. I don't know how well people or fans rank the seasons, from 1 till 10. Probably say this will be my second favorite season. Season 1 will be probably my third favorite. Then maybe season 4. I kind of don't think, but I'll say Michael Rosenbaum was great as Lex Luthor. I think that Kristen Krug was awesome. She was great as Lana Lang, and so was also Tom Welling. Tom Welling as Clark Kent. He wasn't Superman in none of the seasons. He was. He was later in season 7, or I think was season 8. He was the Blur. by most of it. But he's actually Tom Welling for me is more Clark Kent. I don't know why he was never in the Superman costume. Why he did not turn himself into why he never turned himself into Man of Steel. Maybe the show wasn't about Man of Steel. Maybe it was about finding his powers, and also dealing as his normal life as a teenager in a high school, a high school student. Because the first season he was in junior high school, in Smallville High School, and before he graduated, And I want to say that the first seasons are the best, are great, which focus more on Clark Kent and the people who get the power from meteorite and from the meteor shower. They get exposed by the green kryptonite, and they became powerful and ruthless. And Clark, with his power, stops them. And also reveals his love story about Lana and later Louis, and I just love that. And about his two friends, Pete and Chloe, who can find his secret. But Pete Ross finds the secret, in season 2. By the finale, season 3, he leaves the show because he almost will have exposed and tell the secret to Lionel Luthor about Clark Kent secret, that he has all these powers. But yeah, that's actually it. That's actually more my thoughts on Smallville TV series, superhero TV series, the origin story about young Clark Kent. Before he became Man of Steel, he was a normal teenager, a high school student, which I love that, I practically grew up with this show, and I'm glad I do have this, and I do have the second season. Don't have the first one. Maybe someday I might gonna order the first season or the third season, But like I said, I have not seen those in a long time. I'm glad I do have the second season, at least from Smallville. And honestly, I'm a big fan of Superman. But yeah, that was now my thoughts on Smallville TV series. Thanks for watching and have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, I love Smallville. Great show. I would say definitely a great show, great superhero show. Better than that show, The Adventures of Superboy. Much better, in my opinion. Smallville was a great teen drama TV show. I don't know what happened now to Tom Welling. He isn't that much. He's completely fat, and he's like bald and fat, and he's really in bad shape nowadays. I don't think he even gets any of the I don't know if he gets any roles nowadays, or he's even on TV now anymore. He did that stupid movie that I hated, the Fog remake. I hated it. But yeah, was Smallville. I recommend you to check it out because it is great. Smallville. But thanks, that's my review. That's actually my thoughts, not a review. It's my thoughts on Smallville TV series. Thanks for watching. Now have a good day and take care. I'm out. Peace.